Musing While Boozing. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know.
Hey everybody, brand new podcast here once again. Karl, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing great out there, enjoying, it's the weekend here. I'm recording this on a Saturday night. We had a wonderful family day today. It was a great piece of Canadiana where we started the day with Rylan being in an outdoor hockey tournament. And, you know, the weather was perfect. We're standing around, you're outside, kids are skating, tobogganing. It was like a bloody Tim Hortons commercial out there. So it was fantastic, great way to start the day, and we want to ensure we ended up by getting this episode out. So in today's podcast, it was a bit of a last-minute change. Our guest came down with a wicked case of the flu, and I don't know where you are, where you're listening to this, but here in Winnipeg, the last couple of weeks, the flu has been awful. It has ripped through my work, a lot of people we know, and actually, coincidentally, our family the week after New Year's Eve. We had it come through the house. Gracie made it through unscathed, as did Rylan, but Dylan, myself, and Wendy all spent some time in the infirmary getting ourselves back together. So unfortunately, the guests we had lined up had to cancel, so Mike and I were left to our own devices, but was fine because there was a lot of things that had just sort of, you know, come out in the news the last week or two that him and I have been discussing off the podcast anyway. So it was our chance to really talk our way around a couple of topics that we, you know, wanted to, you know, delve into. We hit upon things like, you know, the crazy Turpin family and what happened there with their 13 kids being locked up, and you know, the mindset that's needed to even go about with something like that. We talked about the heartbreak of having pets. We talked about Google's new headquarters and the interesting scenario, how it's playing out, where they're running it basically like a game show when, you know, we're down to the final 20, and the type of benefits that they're going to reap because of the potential windfall for whatever city comes down with this headquarters. I think it's insane how in today's world it's being played out in the news. And, you know, we talked about what happens when you think the world's going to end if you get a dramatic text message when you're on vacation. And, of course, we talk about trailer parks because everybody wants to live in one. So, you know, it was a plethora of topics, but it was actually a fantastic evening. Of course, we were drinking the beverages provided to us by Brazen Hall. And it was, you know, all in all, I think it's one of our better podcasts in terms of the back and forth. So I hope you do enjoy it. Today's podcast is brought to you, of course, again by radsocks.ca, our primary sponsor here at Musing While Boozing, and the provider of all our awesome socks here at the podcast. So, again, if you need to step up your sock game, check out radsocks.ca/podcast. Quit wearing those boring tighty-whities for your feet and get something with a little flash so you're noticed in the office. You won't regret it, and I swear these socks are the best things we've ever owned. On top of that, today's podcast is brought to you by us here at Musing While Boozing. Here we are 20 episodes in, and we realize we've never really talked about the fact that we do own a Patreon account. Someone asked us if we had one. Yes, we do. The link is in the show notes. So if you are enjoying this podcast at all and you want to, you know, show your appreciation for the work we're doing in a monetary fashion, you know what? Mike and I are not adverse. We'd love to upgrade some of our equipment, offset some of the costs for the hosting fees. So, you know, this is a labor of love, and we do not anticipate it ever becoming a full-time gig. But if you would like to throw a sponsorship our way, check out the Patreon account link in our show notes. It's basically been in every note. And, you know, we're going to run a contest where the first person that does, you know, become a patron of our show will not only get a shout out, hell, we'll even book you as a guest, and we might actually throw some swag your way. Because right now we're sitting at a grand total of 0, which is fine because, again, we've never really advertised it. But if you'd like to, we thought, hell, we'll sponsor our own show. So this week, the sponsor is us here at Musing While Boozing. That's all I got for you for the prep work. Why don't you guys grab a beer, sit back, continue to enjoy. I believe this episode will probably take us over 2,000 downloads. So shout out to whoever is the 2,000th download. We love each and every one of you. Thanks for making this a while. And everybody keep musing while
boozing. Because the best thinking happens while drinking. Hot topics over cold drinks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Oh, what's the world coming to?
Welcome to the new year.
Well, I'm fucking 5 episodes into the new year, but yes. New year after.
Oh, what the hell? It's already that time?
I have no idea.
I'm losing track.
We're left hanging due to the flu that's ripping through the city.
Oh, yeah.
We did have a guest. I'll hold back his name because
Have you been infected?
it did rip through our family. Yeah, the week after New Year's Eve. So there was I'll say a 72-hour spell where it took out 3 out of 5 of us. It took Wendy first. She rebounded. It was Wendy, and the next day both Dylan and I stayed home. And then the day after that, she was floored and was on the couch and was dying. And then the day after that, everybody rebounded.
Now, did you try the scotch and orange juice solution?
No, we did not try any alcohol. I got Wendy some anti-grip flu whatever bullshit.
We're supposed to be trying out like alternative medicines.
Oh, it reminds me, my brother's highly recommended on Netflix. What did he watch? God, it sounded just like Kip, but the show is called Rotten.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it'll change the way you eat your food.
So what was Rotten?
I haven't watched it yet. We have to have Adam on the show, but it does sound like it was another thing where I'm assuming everything about everything we eat is awful, and that we should all be hippies and raising very free-range chickens and massaging.
I like the idea of a free-range chicken, but
so do I. But I think whatever the quote organic farming is.
Oh no, that's been bastardized.
Well, it's raising food for thousands instead of feeding millions for the rich people. So
yes. I'm not one of those people, by the way.
No.
I haven't won the lottery yet, but.
So we were just discussing here before we hit go. Mike's going through some tough times here. We're talking about the double-edged dichotomy sword of owning pets.
God.
And I have been through it once, and Mike is now just going through a rough patch here where...
I got 3 pets of the same age. They're all 12 to 14 years old.
2 pets now.
Yeah, we just lost a cat.
And now we're going
first time I've ever seen death.
What?
No.
Wait a minute.
Previous to this, the animals just disappeared. They were gone.
The first time you were the bringer of the death.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was,
and then we're talking about Mike's got an awesome dog upstairs, Zoe, and we're gonna be saying goodbye as Zoe goes over the Rainbow Bridge.
Yes, yeah. It's terrible because she's got the arthritis and but it healthy in every other way. Great teeth, great fur, good eyes. It's just alert, but just can't move.
I know the cynical part in me that says, and when we were signing up to get this dog after I'd put Troy down the previous time, was that, listen, as soon as you sign those adoption papers, it's just a clock ticking as to, great, all I see is somewhere down the road I'm going to have to kill you. It's just...
I actually honestly thought when we lost our cat, I mean, I love my animals, but I didn't think it would hurt as much, and I actually felt like I had lost a piece of my family, a piece of my heart.
A piece of my heart. I see.
Piece of my heart.
That's the difference you mean. Cats are cats. I get it.
My cat was awesome.
Yes, everybody's cat is awesome.
No. This cat was like...
Wendy will tell you all about Tucker, how Tucker's an awesome cat too.
Yeah, my cat, you know what? He kept the mouse away. He kept the rabbits away. He kept the squirrels. He kept the birds. He jumped at birds.
I like how you're listing he kept the deer away.
The only thing he didn't keep away was the magpies. They scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, it sucks. Absolutely sucks. But they're so awesome when you have them, so I guess that's the...
There's nothing better than seeing a cat jump out of a tree, midair, swat a bird, hit him down 20 feet up, and then just go and devour him.
Oh my god, that is cool. It
is pretty cool.
It's cats, because cats do kill things, and dogs, luckily, they don't. If they do kill them, it's usually a person, and you gotta put the dog down, so that doesn't go well. You're talking about killing birds. Side point there, I was watching a video last night.
The birds are in trouble.
No, the luckiest people in 2017. And it was just a random montage of clips, and I was getting just about to hit stop on it. And one is this guy, and he's carrying a shotgun. They're out birding, obviously, and his friends are pushing bush, and the birds are flying towards me.
Oh, it was partridge hunting.
Yeah, it was partridge hunting. And this guy was literally walking towards this friend with the camera, and you could see him look was one way, and he sweeps out his hand and just snaps one of the partridges out. He's carrying his gun in his left hand, and he stabs the bird, because there were so many of them, out of his right hand, just looks at it, smiles, and puts it in his pocket. Like, he literally grabbed him, like, oh, I'm gonna fucking shoot your gun.
Partridge hunting, I've only gone a handful of times, but I tell you think you're ready, and they pop out and make that fucking... and it scares the shit out of you every time.
I honestly... Because I think I have extremely low control when there's adrenaline going on, quite honestly. I hear the... Like, I think I'm part... What's the word I'm looking for here? Like a barbarian, or what was that? Berserker. Because, you hear the roar in your ears, and you can't think, and you know...
That's called misophobia.
Well, 2,000 years ago, you smell the blood and the flames, and and my brain just stops working when things get like crazy intense, and I just work on base gut instinct. So I think if I went partridge hunting and that went nuts, I'd be wheeling around and I got the bird, Mike. You'd be like, Mike! You're like, whoa, dude.
We're going to give you a 410 shotgun. Hopefully, I should be able to live from that.
Well, give me the slugs, man.
No. You don't want to vaporize that bird.
Knock them out of the air.
Now, if you're really good, you want to... I've talked to a few people, and if you're really good, you want to hit it with a 22, because then you're not digging shot out. Now you got
a bird?
Oh, yeah. You got to be good.
I could be bird. I would... Again, no, I would be tracking the bird, and I wouldn't care who was standing. I would want to be out in a field where there would be nobody within a 360-degree view of anywhere.
Yeah, you're fantastic. You're first in line.
Yeah. I just wouldn't want to be there. It would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's a neat experience to actually see them and hear them, and it's amazing. They're kind of like rabbits. They just sit there until you're right on top of them, and then they get the hell out of there, and they're holy jeez. And it's not just usually one bird; it's a crew of them, right? Like,
no, Jesus, I don't know. I would kill somebody. That's my thought. And end of story. I would be okay with deer, because if it's a slow, like you're tracking something, and it's you're basically, you gotta plan your shot. But anything that's like spontaneous and whip around,
you got to be quick, because if you don't get them when they first take off, you're not getting them.
Well, that's just it. I would be shooting my buddies. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't.
We'll give you a single shot, not a semi or an auto.
There'd be nothing good about it.
By the time you reload, you get one shot. You reload, it's over. So the first beer of the night that we're trying tonight is the Lone Wolf IPA. Fernie Brewing Company. I'm actually really surprised. I like this. It's very hoppy, but it's the smell is very hoppy, but the aroma, right?
Yeah, but I think it's because it's got like the added bonus flavor to it, or I don't know if it's a citrusy or something, but it mellows the hops compared to...
It's not heavy. I like the body. It's light. You're not going to fill up on these, which is great. I could drink this all night. It's very good. Unfortunately for me, it's 6.5%, which I can't really handle that. That's a fairly high. This ain't no lawnmower beer.
Always a good lawnmower beer. It's fine. So when I found out the guests weren't gonna be able to make it today or whatever, I was thinking, well, what can we talk about? And then the one thing that sort of caught my attention today and stole me away was the breaking news with that the Turpin family.
Turpentine?
No, probably turpentine was involved.
They were probably for sure.
But it was the Turpin family, and do you know where they were? Were they in California?
California.
Yeah, California.
Did you see their house?
Well, I
Beautiful.
saw. Yeah, well,
you never know.
See their pictures though. They're.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, and we should post that. Looking in their eyes, I'm like, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Right away, you get that feeling, right? They may look like normal people and all right, and a little bit weird, but the look in their eyes is like, holy shit, there is something seriously messed up in there.
So for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, although it did sort of hit the front page of every news today when the story broke, there was a family that had, was it 13 kids? 13 kids.
Aged 18 to 29?
Not even 18, no, younger, way younger.
Was it 2 to
29.
Ugh.
And what happened was that I guess they were seen outside sometimes. They were doing some neighbors, and they said that if you walked up and talked to the kids, they did look really thin. And
kids were outside?
Well, occasionally, sometimes, like they were setting up, the one quote I read was they were setting up a Christmas nativity scene. Or Christmas time.
Yeah.
And so the families walked up and just went to say hi to them or made some comment with the nativity scene. And these kids just went like stone silent. Like they knew they weren't allowed to talk. And then another neighbor had said, well, we want to talk to you or just want to say hi. And he said, oh, we're not allowed to talk to people. And the reporters were talking about the fact this is a family that slept during the day and only was up and operated at night. And the kids, all aged 13 kids, aged 2 to 29, there's even a kid, but were spend like 85% of the day or something chained to their beds.
Yeah.
They were shown food, but they weren't allowed to eat it. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane what they were not allowed to do.
We've watched movies, Children Under the Stairs, exactly like that, right? Nobody thinks, in the past you've heard about the Russian. You had a family with his daughters in a lock room built in the basement with a...
Yeah, and she went like tribal or something like that.
Again, they lucked out, they had a window, they escaped, and he got caught. But, those people, those kids, they're fucked for life. Like, there's...
Oh, well, these kids are going to be totally messed up.
Oh, it's nothing will fix that, right? They might be able to lead something comfortable, but they'll be nightmares forever, right?
No, I don't think they're in good shape.
But you look at the neighborhood and like it was like a normal upscale. That house was brand new. It looked beautiful. The neighbors looked beautiful, and
torturing and starving 12 of their 13 children over a prolonged period of time. Of course, they pleaded not guilty on all counts. The one girl that escaped, I guess she planned her escape for 2 years. And I mean, it's not like they didn't have kids. Like there's a picture posted here as like a wedding photo or something type of family photo where they're there with all their kids, and their kids do look...
they keep doing it. Yeah, that was the other thing that was weird. They keep renewing their wedding vows and it's like they were putting on a show, renewing their wedding vows with all the kids.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Oh my goodness.
Again, if you look at the picture, those eyes say it all. There's something not right.
They're saying most of the children suffer from severe caloric malnutrition.
Yeah.
And several have cognitive impairment as a result of their extreme abuse.
Yeah.
So they were deprived of vitamins and minerals. It's going to take a long time to get to a healthy weight, but it can be done, says Raj, an internist at the doctor. Doctors will be checking for signs of infection before beginning the process of slowly feeding the children.
It's terrible. I mean, and the worst of it is, as a neighbor over there, you feel terrible too, because for sure they saw them. For sure they probably suspected something isn't right, but nobody wants to question that, right? Nobody wants to say how to raise your kids. Nobody wants to...
Well, it's that not in my backyard, not in my business, right?
So, well, it is and it isn't, right?
But people look at it and say, oh, well, they never...
Like, I don't want to tell somebody how to raise their kids, but if they're getting abused, that's a whole different, like, fuck you, man, like...
I guess it all happened behind doors, right? Like, in terms of the abuse.
Of course, they acted proper, they were told to, forced, scared,
the 29-year-old, I'm trying to find it here, because the one article I read, I'm just quickly breezing through one.
There's a lot of info out there. I'm not quite sure what's real and what's not, because I've seen,
all real.
I've seen bail for between 8 and 12 million per
year. That's the standard. They could face up to 1,000 years in prison.
But at the range of the kids is all over the place. They don't really know because they're so malnourished that...
they're 29 years old and weighed 80 pounds.
Yeah, that's absurd.
That's insane.
That is so close to death that...
And like 2 of them escaped, and then 1 panicked because he didn't know really the outside world and actually ran back.
Yeah, I got freaked out.
And went back to the house. They didn't want to get in trouble.
It's amazing that kind of thing can happen for so many years.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you that brainwashing is alive and unfortunately well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. So I don't know. We're talking about it at work a little bit, just in terms of, you know, you touched upon it. But what would you do, or what?
Everybody thinks they can do something, but man, I tell you, it's a different thing when you've been psychologically fucked up.
Well, it's not even like you can do something, but our conversation it was towards the fact that, you know, why wouldn't someone notice? But again, people are coming to being either. People are so self-centered, and not out of a malicious, narcissistic way, but just out of wrapped in their own lives, right?
Yes. We're all wrapped in our own lives.
Yeah, so you could have people walk right by you, right, carrying a gun, you wouldn't even notice. So to see kids out that you notice, and you're realizing, oh, they got 13 kids, you saw them all together once, and then after the next 2 years, you realize you probably haven't seen like 6 of them in forever. You know they're young, but just sort of like, and you mention it, and then the parents would like change the subject or bury it off or push away.
And they talked about, like, they seemed normal, other than, you know, and I'm not gonna, I'm probably weird myself. I mean, I got that weird look in my eye or some kind of, but you know what, I act normally. I put on a show or whatever. It's fine, but it's really hard to tell. You know, again, I go back to the days of when spanking was allowed, and it was obvious. Physical abuse was obvious. Mental abuse is not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would ever, you know, and not even would you have the balls, it's would you even just have the ability to determine. I don't think I'm aware enough to realize, oh my God, something bad is going on there. You just, I just haven't seen the kids for a while. Oh, it's whatever. Like you wouldn't, and then it's always that interview. So did you? Well, they seemed like the perfectly normal. They were a little strange.
Yeah.
I was
exactly what happened this time.
Yeah, but I didn't really think anything of it. You know, occasionally the kids, you didn't see them much. They kept to themselves. They were
quiet.
Homeschooled.
Yes.
They were a different folk. We didn't really have them over for dinner. Didn't know that kids were getting beaten and raped in the house. You know, don't blame me. I'm just Johnny come neighborly, and I didn't know. So yeah, it's
and not to blame them. Like most people, you get home, you cook supper, you clean the dishes, you do your chores, or you try and tell your kids to do the chores, and they don't, and you could do them anyway. But and by the time you sit down, it's 8:30 at night, and you're thinking, "Holy shit, I'm gonna watch a show and ignore the world," and it's over. But it's too bad because hopefully you live in a neighborhood where the community spirit can thrive, right? I used to have that in my neighborhood when we first moved here. We don't really have that now.
Oh, we have great neighbors and whatever, but still.
I'm not saying we have great neighbors, but we don't.
I was looking at my window and realized I haven't talked to my neighbors in 3 weeks. They wouldn't know if I had the kids fucking locked up. We walk out. Wendy and I are fairly social people. We're not,
I wouldn't know
freaks by any means, but it's the matter of the fact is the fact that you just.
But when I first moved here, I would have known because our neighbors were like our friends, right? Like we'd come out on a regular basis. People would get seconded. You'd have anybody who had their garage door open Thursday night. You better not be the guy that all of a sudden you see the crew coming over. You're like, oh shit, it's gonna be one of those nights. But on the other hand, that was good because you could tell if something was wrong.
Yeah, people aren't as involved in people's neighbors. You're not involved in your neighbors, and it's not like way back in the day where you depended on your neighbors, right? Even when we were kids, to the point where you depend on your neighbors on babysitting or, hey, I remember my mom would run over to the neighbors, hey, can you watch the kids? We're going, here, there, whatever, and you're going to stay at your fake auntie or uncle, whatever's places, whether they're auntie.
Yeah, Kate still calls you Uncle.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, cause that's how we grew up, right? So, Uncle Ed Carson and Auntie Joan Carson or... it was, you just went, they would dump you there, right? Or just run off and they'd yell at the car, hey, we gotta run, can you watch this kid so-and-so for 15 minutes or an hour or fucking 2 days? We'll be back. And now it's just, now you need to have 15 police record checks and 4 goddamn, reference letters and a note from the Pope saying that I'm not gonna butt fuck your kids.
Even the Pope isn't fucking immune to this.
Yeah, well, the Pope actually runs a ship.
He's got some kind of banking scheme going on there.
Probably do with Bitcoin.
Oh, did you buy a Bitcoin? Because you're in trouble, man.
19,000 down to 10,000.
Shit.
So funny. They're interviewing financial analysts talking to like the head lead programmer on the Bitcoin project. He's like, so should I buy Bitcoin? And that guy, quote of the year, is like, oh man, I don't really know. He goes, I didn't understand when it up to 20,000. Don't understand why it dropped down to 10. So
obviously there's some kind of manipulation there going in, which is completely...
Well, I don't think it's manipulation. I think people are just buying in the idea. And then I think any investor with like half a brain, as soon as he makes any money, is just dumping it and going, this is like playing fucking roulette.
Buying these things though.
Well,
seriously, at that kind of price, like I'd buy one maybe if I was a...
Well, you're buying shares. You can buy 0.05 or whatever. You can buy whatever in terms of percentage. But it's not just that. It's the fact that they said 99% of the Bitcoin wealth is owned by 4% of the people that own Bitcoin. Like, it truly is. There really is only a couple of thousand people in the world that actually own any measurable amount of Bitcoins. It's just these people, and they're so again, a 23-year-old
has it turned into
Russian
somebody
kid
owns this and is manipulating, or is it truly free?
Well, I think what happens is anytime you see the price dip, that's when it's freeing up, and that's when these guys they've been sitting on like 800 Bitcoins are just like, I'm out. Well, there's a 23-year-old kid in Russia who got in really early and was one of the first builders of like some cheap ass rigs and stuff, whatever, and he is not announcing his net worth, but he's running a corporation that has he's the guy that wasn't Bitcoin. He's the guy who was the lead programmer for that Ethereum.
Yeah.
And he's never announced his net worth, but the Ethereum has a market cap over $100 billion, and this guy apparently has mined, like 5 or 6% of it. So he's 23 years old. He's technically worth $6 billion.
If you can get rid of it.
Well, that's just it, and that's what's happening. Like, that's what I think happened with Bitcoin is there are volatile swings because now people can buy and look at futures and things for it. But there are also guys that are just, okay, cashing out. Like, I bought, 500 shares of Bitcoin at $300. It's now at $14,000. I'm taking that money and going to buy fucking IBM stocks because IBM sales were up for the first time in 5 years and they're not going to drop 55% or whatever. Like,
fuck, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I guess they're in the service industry now, which is a booming industry, which is...
Kodak is in the fucking Bitcoin industry. They just created like Kodak coins.
So is KFC.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. So these people inventing their own, but how does that suddenly make you worth money? Like, who's gonna buy fucking chicken coins?
Yeah, that was a brief experiment from what I read, and they're like, yeah, you're not. It's not meant to buy at that kind of level. It's meant to buy at the bigger levels, right? So,
yeah.
$10,000 increments.
Oh my goodness, someone's watching us live. Hey, shout out to whoever that is that's tuned in. You can see we got some new hardware here. We're checking at the 360 vidcam. Broadcasting live on Facebook at Musing While Boozing.
I'm taking a real taste of this second beer that we're going to be trying right away. I'll comment on that soon as Karl gets in on it, but it's different. It's different.
Yeah, so that was one thing that came up today was you talking about. Yep, I had Bitcoin written down here as things I wanted to hit on because it did take that huge.
And we all knew it would. It's just a matter of I didn't think it would happen that quick.
Well, it goes overnight. This thing, it goes up and down. There's no rhyme or reason. But what added verification to my suspicions was the proof that almost all the Bitcoins are owned by just a few people.
Yeah,
and so it really has zero impact on anybody else in terms of what Bitcoin goes up or down. It's not like it's tied. I have no exposure to Bitcoin volatility in my portfolio for my RRSPs. And then the quote from the guy who's like, I don't know if you should buy it. I really couldn't tell you. I'm just trying to get through every day and not have a heart attack. So,
what do you think about the data miners? Are they in for a rough ride?
Well, apparently the algorithms they're solving now has gotten, like, they're so lengthy that you can't, like, it...
Did you see that company investing in Quebec there? Apparently, I don't know.
Well, Manitoba has got a bunch of inquiries. The issue with Manitoba and Winnipeg, essentially, is that no one has the service. There's no access. Yeah, no one has the electricity service to any. There's nothing in Winnipeg, not in the outskirts of Winnipeg, that would handle the load required to run the server farm that they need.
Please, man. We still have, even though the rates are going up, we're still cheaper.
Oh, no, we have capacity in the province. They're saying no, but they would need to partner with these people, and these guys are so stretched for buying equipment, because they're always playing catch-up with processing technology, that they're not willing to split the cost with
well, Todd,
hydro.
If you're listening, man, maybe you can work us a deal. Maybe we can get into bit mining.
You get the access point, then you got to come up with the ability to buy like 80 goddamn frame
GPUs?
trait. No, it's like if they fill a steel train container with processing.
I know a guy.
Yeah. And
Getting it there. We need a few 10,000, maybe probably 100,000 to give her 250. 250. Yeah. I can get her going. I can even bury it if you want.
250 is the magic number. Oh, what else happened in the world today? Google came out with their short list of...
are we there?
I don't think we made an official presentation.
Man.
We were one of the 267... But of course, Canada did have one city make the cut list.
Who can I blame? Bowman? Pallister? Which one?
No, one of the criteria was you had to have 1 million people living in their residential
We
area.
can't get 1 million people? We got what, 8, 9?
We have 900,000, but 300,000 are Indians.
It doesn't
They're not
matter.
working in technology.
Irrelevant. It just said how many. And we have it.
With potential employees.
We have been immigrate.
We have the wrong
immigrants?
Indians. We have feather, not dot. These are not smart people.
No, but the immigration levels should say that we're all right.
Yeah, I mean, we got Filipinos. They have small craft.
But I thought we were like
type,
immigrating like, I don't know what percentage. It was a significant amount.
Of what?
Immigrants. Bring them in.
Yeah.
Altona.
But they're all...
a number of countries.
They're either cool Eastern European people or they're all like,
right?
I don't know.
Listen, it's all about numbers. We don't really... So I think that $1 million...
I don't think these Somalian guys are good on the computer.
Listen, Pallister, he fudges numbers all the time, so does the rest of the government. They can't fudge a few 200,000 people to make it 1 million? Come on.
I think they just look and Google came and it was minus 30 and said, well, it would keep the server farms cool, but it's not, they're not building it there. It's supposed to be they want a place that can generate a bunch of tech. So of the 20 cities, Toronto was the only one in
I actually
Canada.
was hoping they would be here because the job creation there would have been pretty neat.
But talk about like a media society, right? Like, okay, so here's the reality. They said, we're going to build a new headquarters. Awesome. Happens all the time.
Yep.
So you had to submit bids because they're looking at like a $15 billion investment.
By the way, Google a few years ago was looking at Winnipeg as well, and
well, time. The only thing it's going for is we're centrally located, but with technology, it's less and less important, right?
yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Put us all in the fucking northern.
20 years ago, that was the best thing
Yeah.
you could have, right?
But now they're making it into like an Olympic bidding system, right? Now it's like, okay, so now we'd like to announce our final 20.
Yes.
You know what they're doing.
Oh, for
So
sure.
now these
man.
20 cities that are left
Yeah.
are going to go back, talk to their governments.
What can we give them?
Line up the kickbacks, boys.
Yeah. You can get this property $1 for 100 years.
Yeah, we're gonna an extra 1% on the sales tax will go your way, and we will all student loans that are tech related will receive a 10% break in
I
interest.
honestly, though, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, neither do I.
Because
But
I think the positive
there's nothing wrong on
results-
Google's side. They're like, this is awesome. We're just gonna have 20 people just standing off in the corner, beating off, going, "Oh, come on, look at me, I'm sexy." Come on,
I think
look at
the
me.
positive will outweigh the negative. Will it bring as many jobs as they think? No. But
I don't know.
I
It's
do believe
gonna.
the positive
They said they're gonna
will
make it as big as their other head office. So I forget exactly how many thousand jobs it's gonna be, but I guess they have a $38 million a year impact in their Seattle office with all their sourcing and services, and then their employees and the money spent and the wages paid out and the taxes they pay.
All I can say is right now they nothing. Nothing is preventing them from going up, up, up.
No.
At one point, just like every other company, they may not be able to manage, or there'll be a change in management, change in owners, change in
Too big to fail.
change in vision, right?
Bezos is never selling.
Yeah.
God damn it. So, you guys worth $100 billion. Again, I think we talked about this before. If anybody listens to this podcast, it's probably a little repetitious, because I just don't understand. When you have $100 billion in shares, I get it. He's a type A personality. He's driven.
Like Trump.
Well, no, but with brains. But, we all, unless he knows something we don't, we're here for, there's a finite number of spins around the sun. And, you can do a lot of good with it. Like, I just don't know what his drive is. Does he have to take 100 billion to 150 billion? Like, what does the extra 50 billion get you that the 100 billion
Prestige.
No, he's the richest man in the world. You can't be the richest man in the world.
But you got to keep the title.
But why? Why? So you die with a plaque? I would make my last 40 years on this planet.
I don't know. He probably doesn't have a family, friends, anything.
To put it in perspective, I have no idea how old he is, but I'm assuming he's just slightly old enough. So, he's...
Everybody's our age now.
Yes. Right? So, say Bezos is
accomplished
45 years old. So, he's got... If he goes to the gym, it's a stretch, 40 to 45 decent years left, barring any, ass cancer or something like that.
I think that's fairly...
to make 85 or 90 years old, right? You can make 40, 45 years. At that point, there's not too many 90-year-olds that are, out there rocking it. So 90 is the top end, but he could cash out now and spend $2 billion a year
and still be all right,
and still die with $10 billion in the bank. Why is he still working?
Why is he still working?
Because he could spend that's with a capital B, billion a year.
Because he's not done.
But I'm done.
No.
Go to work to make money. You've made all the money.
We go to work to make money. Remember, we're the working class. He is not part of that crew. He no longer go. He doesn't go to work just to make money. Money is irrelevant. That's just a status symbol.
Well, no, I get that, but if you're gonna.
He's got so much money. So money became useless after the first billion. It doesn't mean anything to him.
No, so go and do something with it then.
No. He is doing it though. He's doing what he wants to. He wants
to grow his company.
Grow it. Yeah, Karl, I'm telling you right now, man. Me and you, we think differently than them. And
him.
That's
a lot of money.
And he should enjoy life, and he should do this, but his enjoyment comes from something weirder.
Yeah. He just lives on a planet that I don't live on.
He's like Burns out of Simpsons there. If he's not working,
Burns seemed to enjoy. He liked owning a baseball team. Hey, get out there, boys! And
but if he's not working, he's not happy.
Yeah,
and that is part of his drive.
I don't know.
He doesn't work to live. His work is living.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's I can see going from but once you're starting to get into multiple billions.
I'll tell you right now, when the guy stops working, even with the billions, hundreds, he'll be dead within a year, I'm sure.
I think he'd launch himself into space because you just
might as well, because he's going to be dead right away anyway.
But you can make a challenge. Come up with a different challenge. At least change the game.
They can't think that way.
Well, I would just start a new company that's I don't know,
what if he's stuck in that one vision?
Of and just the vision is bigger warehouses, selling more shit.
Some guy came and hit it with a hammer, and now it's fucked. There's shattered, and all of a sudden it's.
Are you talking about 1984?
Pretty much.
The Apple.
Pretty much. But it's shattered, and now he doesn't have enough. He's so focused on that one vision that it just kills him.
Yeah, because compared to most people, I think that I'm, business driven, numbers driven. I sort of get it, but you know what? I think there's that instinctive laziness quotient that we have that they just a guy like him just doesn't you know, we talk to people with the podcast.
You know what? Everybody always
my weekends right now are so goddamn busy.
Lots of people call me lazy too, and I take offense to that. I'm not lazy. I'm not going to do something repetitively when I know I could do it better, more efficiently. Just let me do what I need to do to get it automated. And then, you know what?
Like automated, like binging on Netflix?
Yeah, and then I will go on to another task.
Only 6 seconds till the next episode starts. But, okay, one more.
To me, lazy, in my industry, lazy is, that means you're not doing something right.
Well, no, and I get that, and I preach about in work all the time about, you know, I'd rather hire someone to do it right than someone to work really hard and take 8 hours to a job which should only take an hour. Like that's not right. I mean, yeah,
you got to do that to get there, but
well, you do have to discover
at some point you got to make
success is a culmination of. Well, I'm gonna get this wrong. I sounded really smart at work the other day.
Oh yeah,
I said success was a combination of smart decisions.
I better get the bingo card out.
Smart decisions.
He's going to use management terms.
No, it was quite simple. But, you know, I'm trying to mentor my district operations coordinator, my right-hand person,
Is it a copyrighted term? Or?
No. Although my book that I'm writing, I'm on Chapter 7, Leadership, it's coming. I promised to be done by the end of November, and that didn't happen.
You can try and sell that to our organization?
I'm just going to sell it on...
I would recommend you sell it to try and sell it to our organization.
I'm going to just sell it on Amazon.
Use some kind of cool, like...
I just got to find someone to come up with a cover.
Like 5-letter word that sounds cool, like Cobra or...
it's... Right now, my acronym is...
Contra.
Is prepare.
Prepare?
Yeah.
Like patty cake?
P-E... I'm working on it. I might
double P, triple P.
P-E-P-E-A-R. Prepare. Help you prepare for prepare. I'm working on it. It's the term is... it's so funny how I can write the whole... There's 5 main chapters, and right now that words that I've used, the keywords I'm driving each chapter start with a P, an E, a P, an E, an A, and an R. But I can use acronyms. I can really change those words if I have to. The content doesn't change. I don't really call what you call a chapter, but I have that's the catchiest one I can come up with. So we have to maybe sit down. I might need your help on...
I'm telling you, I know you can do it because in that catchy thing, the content is secondary, the catchiness is primary.
Yeah, so I got to work on that. But anyways...
I know how these guys think, I tell you right now. If it sounds cool, it's going to be cool.
It's going to be cool.
And then we know how to hype it up, eh?
Yeah, I was telling Shelly, my doc, district operations coordinator, that success comes from making good decisions. Good decisions comes from having experience.
Yes.
And experience comes from making really bad mistakes.
Can you train...
success...
Is there room for training anywhere in there?
She's like, well, how did you get success? I said, well, success comes from making really good decisions. And decisions you make from your past experience. And your past experience builds from making a whole bunch of really bad mistakes.
Where do the newbies fit in that?
Well, from making... You start. From making really bad mistakes. And you make your mistakes, which gives you experience...
By the way, look at this beer. It keeps foaming up like double head.
Yeah,
it should.
Powerhead.
It's I'm feeling it. It's cool enough. Like what's going on here, man? Double head.
Because we're not in Fernie.
Double head.
Give me another hit of that. So yeah, book pending, release date sometime. Honestly, mid 2018. If anybody knows a cheap editor, hit me up at musingwhileboozing@gmail.com, and I'd love to have someone edit my book, as well as I need someone who can come with a graphic title page. I do have a title down, and if you want to work with me...
I swear to God, yeah, this is double head. I just poured that as slow and as cool as I could, and this second beer, you're going to have to wait a few minutes to drink it, eh?
Oh, that's okay. We can.
Destiny IPA.
So next up...
Warlock.
Talking with Gracie on the way to Ryland's Hockey. Shout out to Gracie for helping me do the promo on our last video. Our last audio. She pitched in about the Spark Show. She watched the videos. She thought it was pretty cool.
That?
She liked it.
What about the nail?
Yeah, that's what she watched. She watched the nail and she watched the jumping in the glass, whatever. So if you haven't listened to last episode 20, Spark Show.
The Spark Show.
Yeah, Gracie was on the promo there talking about how much she liked the videos. Anyways.
Those guys are pretty cool.
Wow, really cool.
Seriously.
Yeah, thesparkshow.com. Hit them up. We were talking about, because Gracie's 12, right? She's in that grade. And so I actually wanted to hear her thoughts on something, so I just dropped a topic in her lap. I said, Gracie, what are your kids at school talking about this Tide Pod challenge?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And she went off. And it was so awesome.
What the fuck,
But she's like,
man?
oh, those idiots. It's like, I watched the video and somebody
So they're
actually...
sucking back Tide Pods.
Well, they're putting them in their mouth, and I can't even talk. My mouth just starts going sideways. Because you just know it's going to have that chemically fucking...
They just got fucking sued and changed everything and told you to keep and remarketed it. And you're gonna die.
Yeah, well, they're putting all these safety warning. I'm like, okay, at this point, okay.
First it was babies. No.
And I get babies, whatever. They ran around, they grabbed it. Okay, don't let them kids drink. We've been told since we were a kid, you don't drink the stuff that's underneath the sink. Like, that hasn't changed since 1979. We didn't have baby gates back then. Everyone just said, don't go underneath there. Don't drink the Drano. Which is fine. But at this point, if you gotta tell kids to not eat fucking detergent...
by the way, I didn't see a skull and crossbones on that detergent container.
I'm sorry.
So,
if you gotta tell them not to eat...
I didn't see no skull and crossbones. What's going on? It's not. It's not corrosive.
You let Darwin take its fucking turn. I'm sorry. Like, this is as far as we've gotten.
There's no skull and crossbones saying no way.
World War I, kids went to war. 2018, kids are eating fucking laundry detergent. Tide Pods.
Tide Pods.
Anyway, so Gracie was like, I wanted her say that it was an idiot.
So what did she say?
Oh, she's like, we watched the video. My friends and
Did you watch a video?
Well, because that's what it is, the Tide Pod challenge.
Sorry, I thought it was a school promotional.
No, they said they all on the fucking YouTube. These kids, all they watch is YouTube. That's it. Gracie will spend 4 hours watching YouTube. All she watches is YouTube or the same 2 shows on Netflix, like on auto repeat. That's it. But she generally, I do like the fact that she watches videos on how to make stuff, and she's all about making like homemade slime and different science. She's growing crystals in the kitchen right now. Remember the crystals we made with potassium chlorate, the blue stuff?
I showed the boy that.
Yeah, she's got some clear version she added purple dye to, and so we're growing crystals in the kitchen.
Oh, they're probably not allowed to use that because it's too toxic.
Well, she got a chemistry set.
If you smell those fumes, you're not...
I got her a chemistry set for Christmas, and there's nothing exciting in her chemistry. They do no Bunsen burners, no cool chemicals, no anything with copper, nothing that's even remotely poisonous. It's like, and all the experiments are now we're going to add salt to ice. Now we're like, it's like, Jesus.
No wonder nobody's interested in that shit.
Man, in 1955, you could buy a kid's kit that had uranium in it. That was that was insane. It came with a Geiger counter, and you actually hold, and then they realized that the kids were holding it like their fingers.
What were those blue crystals called?
Well, it was potassium chlorate.
Nitrate? No,
chlorate.
Potassium chloride.
Yeah.
So,
but those aren't really poisonous. It was
wrong though. In the gas form, when you were mixing in the thing, if you're in a room and you huff that all day, you're in trouble.
You weren't. You
in the gas form. It was not good.
Were you in science club in grade 6? Were you doing?
No, I wasn't nerdy enough. I was in welding.
That was me and Heather Neary and.
I was in welding.
From other schools, they had recruited other fucking nerds. So there was like Tyson Gorey, and Mike just ran away in a dead sprint. I think he's going to shit himself. So in grade 6, I was selected with probably 4 or 5 other people from my school and a bunch of the junior high schools, and we went to Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, which what it was, to a high school. We were in before junior high. And we met with a high school science teacher. I'm trying to remember his name right now. Oh God, Todd Schufelt was his name. He would run us through different science experiments. I think it was called Science Club, to be honest. And we would do things that were more advanced science projects compared to what you did in grade 6. So my memories of Science Club are things like he filled a tin can with hydrogen and we blew it up. Like, we made hydrogen, made some reactions and created hydrogen. He caught it in a tin can and we blew it up, and the tin can blasted through the roof of the high school room, and like it knocked out the ceiling tile and went up in the rafters or whatever, and he had to fish it down. And then we did things with lasers one day, and then we did a lot of like chemistry set with like different, making gases and things like that, and we floated a tinfoil boat in like a empty aquarium, but because we had filled that aquarium with some type of gas that was heavier than air, so it looked like it was floating in midair, but it wasn't. It was floating on, like, I don't know, helium or the opposite of helium, whatever it was. That may have just been a video. That may have just been a video, or that may have actually happened. I don't remember. But yeah, so that was science. We worked with all these like crazy, dangerous in today's terms chemicals. And so, yeah, I bought Gracie a chemistry set for Christmas.
But do you think in the schools, do they use hydrochloric acid like we used to?
I don't even think they use Bunsen burners anymore for anything. They even have fucking fire, man. You can get matches for free, but I don't think I don't know, maybe they do. They do dissections, like Gracie was talking last year, but they were chopping shit up or whatever still. So,
but do they, in chemistry, like, do you just talk about it, or do you actually work with chemicals that are dangerous? I imagine they got to.
I mean, my kids aren't that age here where they're doing anything like grade 8.
Remember that HCl, man. If you if that went on, it didn't matter what you're wearing. If that thing touches you, it's melting.
Yeah, no, I know, like in wood shop or whatever, Gracie made a car, and I don't even know how much of the sawing they're allowed to do. Although based on the shape of the car, I think they do a lot of the sawing. So, nothing like us working with those welding in grades 7, 8, and 9. Remember the horror story they told us of somebody, Devin Guick's sister, had the lighter in her pocket?
No, it wasn't that. It was there was two.
Yeah, because I think it was Devin Guick's sister. Yeah. Marcy Guick. I think I'm pulling this name out of my ass. Shout out to Marcy Guick, who I definitely not listening to this podcast. She may be dead.
There was acetylene?
She had a lighter in her pocket, and one of her friends threw the acetylene torch, and it hit her lighter, and it just melted, and all the gas burnt down her leg.
Yeah, just happened to turn the flame.
That was like an urban legend.
They were in the booth welding with the torch, and she was talking, and she turned, and of course moved the torch. And then it just happened in grades.
How many horror stories do we hear about the long hair and the fucking lays and rip it right out of your head? Which I don't get it happens, but
no, the best.
According to our school's principal, all the girls in our school were fucking bald because it happened every 30 seconds. If you weren't careful.
Actually, the worst one that I remember was the crucible, the molten metal, and
Johnny Tremaine.
Well, yeah, it follows the same lines, right? Some guy, the teacher said, "Don't spit in this," and he went and spit in it, and nobody got hurt. But what happened was exactly what they said. That liquid fucking silver was on the top of our ceiling. Aluminum. Yes.
And silver was stored.
Yeah, it was. I liked working the crucible, but man, you don't want to fuck around with that.
No, it was. Yeah, the kids just aren't exposed to anything that has any of that potential. Mm-hmm. Too many lawsuits, too much Facebook, too much social media.
So what do you think of this Destiny IPA Fugels and Warlock beer?
Yeah, it's okay. It
says here, a light and easygoing malt profile with a delicate hop aroma of mandarin, oranges, grapefruit, and passion fruit.
You're talking about the first time... since the history of sales been recorded, Budweiser, not Bud Light, Budweiser, has fallen out of the top 3 beers in the U.S. Not because of microbreweries or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just because, for the first time ever, 3 light beers are 1, 2, and 3. It's Bud Light, which passed Budweiser, I guess, in 2001.
I see Bud Light
and
everywhere.
Then Coors Light, number 2.
Because of the stubbies?
I don't know. No, that's Coors Banquet. Coors Light. Yes, the cans. Yeah. And then number 3 in the U.S., Miller Lite. And number 4 is Budweiser.
Miller is.
So there's 3 light beers.
Yeah.
And then so they talked about the microbreweries growing and the category in microbreweries because the IPAs hit like a peak where there's not a lot of people that want to drink a lot of these IPAs and stuff. So they're talking about the lager. I swear it was the lagers. It wasn't ales. Anyways, the light versions of microbreweries, just their generalized summer ales or whatever, they're up like 390% over the last 5 years. People are finding it and they have a little more flavor than than Bud Light or Coors Light or whatever, but they're still not as heavy or as powerful as these IPAs. That category is blowing up through the roof. It'd be like St. James Pale Ale, which is their number 1, is the exact same. That's what we're talking about. the St. James Pale Ales of the microbrewery world are taking off because you get more flavor, but still a light beer.
I'm telling you right now, I wish it was a brewer. I wish it was in the big times because even myself, I used to drink hardcore dark, and now I've moved into the hoppy. And the hoppy, I've moved into more of a, I don't want a heavy beer. And I don't want it too hoppy anymore because...
Well, after 4 or 5 hoppy beers, which sounds awful.
You get a little bit of acid burn.
Oh, yeah. Your tongue just... Well, even now, like after the 2 glasses, it's like your tongue just starts recoiling back.
Yeah.
It gets a little syrupy.
And they call it the AAU. That's the acidic portion.
Well, it's like you had too many sour soothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that
been there,
sugar burn on the top of your tongue.
Yeah.
So, speaking of tongue, I can chip tooth. It's driving me nuts. I want to talk like this all the time.
Oh, Jesus.
I was eating cereal with the kids. Oh! Shout out to Cinematique, where we went, you and me and Eli. So we went to go see, I think it was called Memories of Blue
Velvet.
Memories of Blue Velvet, Remembering Blue Velvet. It was a fan film about David Lynch's seminal work from 1986, Blue Velvet, starring, I believe it was Harvey Keitel. I could be wrong there. Eli, yell at me if I got it wrong. Laura Dern, I know that part's right.
I can't believe you remember all those names.
Oh, dude, it's all up here in the vault.
Yes.
But I thought it was about the making the movie. Mike, can you give our fans your take on the art house film we went to go see with our buddy Eli called Remembering or Memories of Blue Velvet?
Well, the first problem is I haven't really seen Blue Velvet. So,
Step one, if you're going to go see a movie about another movie, see the movie. Okay, so but pretend you had seen the movie.
If I had seen the movie...
Because trust me, I have seen the movie, and our experiences weren't terribly different.
There's a lot of the director just hanging out on the side of a pop machine, which is kind of cool initially, but when the majority of the movie is him hanging out, making comments, and
it wasn't even a video, it was just like a slideshow.
Yeah, and no real reference to the movie. I didn't see a lot of scenes from the movie.
Like maybe 5 minutes, and just songs.
Yeah, they showed a little bit of nudity there because they need it in the middle.
Some
because
titties,
you need to get some things going, but...
I liked how you kept leaning over and saying, when does it start?
Yeah.
And then I looked over to my left. You were sitting on my right, Eli was on my left. I look at you, and you're just genuinely confused going, when's the movie starting? And we're 45 minutes in.
The worst of it is there's no booze there.
Yeah, and there's no booze, Cinematique. And then Eli, who's the one who invited us out, which I just don't think it was exactly what he was expecting. He was like falling asleep because it was literally like soothing music and just slideshow of pictures. And I'm like, oh man, this is going sideways. So we got the hell out of Dodge, finished that up, and left. And maybe we'll watch Blue Velvet and review that movie coming up.
Yes.
But the reason I brought up Cinematique was because. Not because
a cartoon show going.
Yes, it's coming up, and not only the cartoon show, they have a U.S. sponsored, like what you get in the U.S. Saturday morning cereal sugar laden buffet. So for 3 hours, you get to go to Cinematique from 10 till 1, I guess, and they're going to have boxes and boxes of every variety of sugary laden cereals that you can go up to as many times as you want while you watch a 3 hours of all the formative cartoons. So I have a question for you, Mike. First question is coming up. Top 5 list of your favorite sugary laden cereals. Go.
Lucky Charms. Count Chocula.
Good one, Count Chocula. I like
Frosted Flakes.
Weak. I don't like that.
Honeycomb.
I'll be up there.
There's always a weird one that comes to mind, and I'm just thinking. I hate to say it now. I like Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran because we're 43.
I fucking hated that before.
Actually, I think I ate a lot of it when I was a kid.
But Raisin Bran is full of sugar, man.
Yeah, it is. Those raisins. Okay, my top 5 memories. I gotta go with you on the Count Chocula. Boo-Berry. My grandmother, Baba, bought Boo-Berry all the time. Always had it there. Captain Crunch.
Frankenberry.
Golden Grams. was up there. And then the staple in my house that I have trouble even swallowing now.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, that was more when I lived with you. But was in every house. It's like not sugary laden, but it was hours sweetened. That was my mom would break down and get this. Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yes.
I probably ate 85 kilos of Honey Nut Cheerios in my life. So.
You probably ate the best cereal of all of them there.
Blueberry.
There's nothing, Honey Nut Cheerios, there's nothing greatly wrong with it. Yeah, it was
still, each one of those, they're shiny, man.
Right.
It's just loaded in sugary crap. So then, top 3 favorite Saturday morning cartoons. What do you remember when you think
Saturday morning, man.
Go back.
So
long time.
yeah.
You're talking 35 years ago. When you woke up on Saturday morning and threw your pajamas, what are the top 3 word association? What reminds you? Smurfs, definitely.
Scooby-Doo. No, that was a weekday thing.
Yeah, that was a weekday. That was a 4:30 show. Just like
I think it was like He-Man or Thundercats.
Those are in there. Saturday morning for me, Ghostbusters, the cartoon. That was big on my.
Oh yeah, Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Muppet Babies.
I did not like the Muppets.
We watched the Muppet Babies a lot. Yeah. We like the Muppet Babies. Smurfs were definitely in the must-watch rotation. If you go way back, remember those ones that were like...
I watched Mighty Mouse, man.
Yeah, we watched... the hell was it? You know, where it was like... The Hanna-Barbera characters were all in like a car race or whatever, and they're all racing each other, or the Hanna-Barbera Olympics.
Looney Tunes.
No. This was like, Captain Caveman and Dastardly Devil.
Hanna-Barbera. It was...
and they would race each other and like have like... And there was 3 different teams of cartoon characters. That one sticks out in my mind from like when I was like 5 and 6 and 7.
I always watched the Flintstones, man.
Yeah, the Flintstones were big there. But Saturday mornings,
Inspector Gadget.
No, that was after school.
And that was
we were older then.
Yeah.
That was near the
Rocket
end.
Robin, which was after school.
Or at 5:30. No, that was early, 2 in the morning. Yeah. That was like the first one on Rocket Robin.
Astro Boy.
That was 8 o'clock on school mornings. Adam watched that show religiously. Astro Boy was fucking rocket. That was North America's first introduction to anime.
Yeah, anime.
Oh my god.
In the rated version.
So something happened there in Hawaii this last week, and it got me thinking a lot on the drive home. I went to my own little world for half an hour, and then I went and I had a pin in it. I got to talk about Mike with this. So people were in Hawaii, and they were on vacation, and they got a text on their phones that said, "This is not a test. There has been an intercontinental ballistic missile launched at Hawaii."
ICBM?
Yeah. So what are you going
to do?
Yeah, do you ever have, ever think...
End of the world? Yeah, all the time.
Well, not even end of the world, or even just when something surreal would happen, what happened to something where, say you were driving down the road, and you literally saw, something from Independence Day, like a spaceship, and it blowing a laser up or whatever, and blowing up part of the world, or that movie where the aliens came and Tom Cruise. Oh god damn it, War of the Worlds.
Yeah, what are you talking about? How many seconds you got, or how many minutes you got?
Not even that, but just seeing something like that, where in your head you're like, well, that wasn't reality before. Now it's reality. Your brain is like that. What I'm thinking of is the point in your brain where your brain's fracturing, going, oh my god, something impossible is happening. In that for some reason I got fascinated with that 0.2 of a second moment in your life where you're looking at something going, well, this is impossible. This can't happen.
Nothing's impossible in my mind, man.
Well, I know. That's why I'm maybe not talking to the right person here. But
all I know is that if something like that happened, I'd be like,
okay, so yeah,
hey.
No, play no. So I want to slow this down here. Yes. So if you're on Hawaii on vacation, scenario 1, Karen and Caden are there.
Oh shit! Now you made it complicated.
I know. Scenario 1, Karen and Caden are with you, and you guys are on the beach because there's no more information than this, and your phone beeps and you pick it up and you have that text message. What do you do? What do you do?
Oh man, I want to ransack the bar.
Well, yeah, but like really, if you run up to this bar, like the world's not panicking yet. You're gonna run up there and the guy's gonna knock you out. You're going to jail and you're gonna die in jail. Like, but what like?
No, we're just.
How does your brain work at that point? What do you do?
There's nowhere to go, man.
I know. So what do you do?
Your life is 15 minutes away from ending.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's gonna land. You don't know where it's safe. You don't know.
You just tell Caden to look away.
Oh, we start feeding him booze like there's no tomorrow. We're going to get you fucked up so that at least if it's going to happen, you're not feeling it.
Well, I don't think you feel anything if there's a nuclear attack because literally it's you blink and it's over. I think you feel more of the tequila going down your throat.
Like, a lot of people, like, run to the mountain. I'm like, but you don't know where.
Especially in Hawaii, it's a small island. Like, if they say, if a missile hits Hawaii, this is going to be a crater. There's nothing left. It's like Krakatoa.
You're hoping that they're not going to hit it because they're not that accurate, which is total possibility.
No, with North Korea right now, fast forward 10 years, don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
But, because I mean, in 10 years from now, you could probably put a drone GPS
you know what?
automation.
I got 15 minutes left, and I'm telling you this right now, my way of thinking is way different now than it was 10 years ago. Now I got 15 minutes left, you know what? And my family's with me. I'm fucking going to enjoy it.
I'm going to run into the water one last time.
Maybe.
Group hug?
Maybe.
Shots?
Whatever it takes to...
Whatever it takes. We have 14 minutes and 30 seconds. We're going to be fucking happy right now. Line them up.
We're going to have a drink and we're going to go sit on the beach.
Yeah,
and we're going to act like there was no difference. Because...
Put on your shades.
What can you do,
You
man?
can't. I know. Like, that's what got me. And then, of course, like, it turns out somebody hit the wrong button.
Yeah, and couldn't reverse it because of the red tape.
Yeah, like, that guy's fired.
And realistically, the government should be fired because of the red tape.
Well, the government's the one who would have sent out that warning. So, yeah, like, something's fucked up there. But, yeah, it got me thinking just what... Okay, now...
And this is a
scenario number 2.
So here's the thing: this is an area that is supposed to be testing this on a regular basis, and it's supposed to be ready for it.
Well, look at how many times we see the emergency broadcast system. Problem is, people stop watching TV.
Yeah,
Netflix doesn't have no emergency broadcast system. Do they have the ability to cut into every streaming broadcast if there is an emergency?
I can't tell you that for certain.
Because it would be a compartmentalized file.
They were supposed to be looking at texting people a few years ago, and I don't know if that actually because of the cuts that Harper made. I don't know if that actually.
No, I know there is an emergency text service that you can get. That the Rogers and everybody had to sign on because, especially in Canada, it's easier because they have to sign so many agreements with the government. That's just part of their license agreement with the Canadian government. In the U.S., I can't speak to, although it happened in Hawaii, and that's the U.S. obviously. So maybe that is covered.
It's scary because Hawaii does this on a regular basis and should be the best prepared, and it just goes to show that if they're not prepared, I'm very worried that... Well, and here's the thing. Do you want to know?
Well, I don't know.
It's
Scenario number 2. Scenario number 2. You get that text. You're on the beach. You're there for an MPI tryout conference because you were caught fucking some secretary. Well,
tryout conference.
You're gone south. You're there for the Manitoba Public Insurance Corporation top 10 texts sent away to this massive conference. Carrie and Caden are back in Winnipeg.
Yes.
You get the text on your phone.
Oh, it's over. 15.
What do? Do you call them? Do you let them see it on the news?
Yeah, no, I call them. I
send them a text.
I love you.
CNN.
I love you. I don't know if we're going to make it through this.
You're not going to make it through. Nobody makes it through. Everything's special. You don't make it through a nuclear holocaust. That's a holocaust.
And as I'm talking to them, I'm heading towards the bar.
That's right.
And I'm kicking anybody's ass who tries to prevent me from fucking
I need that bottle right there.
Yeah. I will ransack you and away
oh
we
my
go.
God. And then I'm sure, because you got to think, if everyone on the island got this text, and these are the stories I'm looking for, but I haven't gone looking yet.
I haven't
these are
seen
the ones
them
I
yet,
want to see.
yeah. What happened?
Well, they interviewed that lady in Winnipeg.
Where was the chaos?
Well, there was panic. I don't know if I don't think they got the just kidding text like minutes later or what have you, but there was
40 minutes. Can you imagine?
But that's just it. So, like, there had to be... I want them to interview the guys that are like you and I that did walk down and, like, you know, quit their jobs or, you know, told their ugly wife...
Everybody! Let's do shots on the credit
I want them to find the guy that was just critically hungover the next day because he drank, like, near alcohol death poisoning.
I want to know how many people are suing
Or if it was
now because
imagine if that happened at a casino.
oh Christ.
I bet it all on black. Take a line of credit, no problem. Hit it, boom it, bet it. Sir, we're just kidding.
Yeah. Oh,
we need to talk to you.
I was just kidding too.
Yeah, we need to talk to you about clearing up this line of credit. Like my biggest fear is this happening to us. We're in Vegas this year. Like,
see, the thing
Vegas,
is,
close to the West Coast, South U.S. If Kim Jong-un can get fucking GPS tied to his missiles.
California,
Yeah, California or Nevada, but still, just an extra couple gallons of gas can get there. Bright lights of
general
Vegas.
area.
Yeah, in general area. Although, it's like, if they told me, guess what? Yeah, missiles are coming in, and we're in
Do you think he has the capability after 30 years of trying?
Maybe one missile. And I don't know if you're that type of person that just say one missile off and you sit there in your catacombs knowing that your whole country's going to get erased. Because that's what happens. I mean, he gets one missile off and causes the most dramatic, unfortunate, awful thing to happen in the last 200 years. But his country gets erased into a parking lot.
But he doesn't care.
Well, that's just it. He doesn't care.
Just like Trump.
I wonder how much of what they put out is propaganda.
Lots.
And how much is what they truly believe? Like, does he honestly believe the bullshit they put out? Because they lie so often, even where they eat well. And I mean, again, it's fat and this whole country's starving, right? So the shit they put out for their people for mass consumption, in terms of their grandiose comments about the U.S., now they kick their ass up. But he must, does he actually...
he believes it.
Does he believe it? Because...
Do you remember when we went to Cuba the very first time? And how you'd mentioned the States and the hatred. It was just bred into them.
Right? They're all walking around with Levi's.
Yeah. They're walking around with shit from the U.S. and they just hated them. And you couldn't say anything to convince them. They were like, these people are an evil incarnated. I think
that was the older generation. The younger generation, I think, was good into it. They were the ones that were changing.
But yet they still were angry, and they didn't know why. That was the worst of it. They didn't know why.
But now that Americans are going there, I think they're over it because they're getting tipped up.
That's a different story now. But
we want to take the kids. What
I'm saying is that a country can be manipulated.
Oh, for sure.
And brainwashed, and it's to the most absurd reasons and justifications. It's just, I don't know. Can it be done? Yeah. Is he doing it now?
Well, I know they're manipulating the country. That's obvious. They flat out lie. They put a video out about the U.S. getting invaded, and it was the trailer to their people. It was the trailer for Call of Duty, and they showed American GIs getting blown up and stuff. It was gameplay from the Call of Duty, and they gave that to their people for consumption. They bought it. They don't, or at least they publicly bought it. I got to think that humans are humans. Some of them would have known that it was fake. Most probably wouldn't. If you don't know any different, it is what it is. And some of them are very illiterate farmers. They just see something on the screen and go.
I always wonder, what does China think of us? What have been fed?
China is a different. China isn't the China even we grew up with when we were in the 80s. China is the way of the future in terms of the fact that they have 1.1 billion people. They're very cosmopolitan. We got to have Eli on the show and talk about what he saw there, because they have some amazing cities, and
they have the world is filtered.
No, North
in every regards.
No, there's China
They're cut off. Remember that way the one time they didn't like what Google did? They fucking cut off the internet. They shut her down.
Yeah, but you know what? The Chinese government opened their purses up to American money, and those walls are falling quick because Google comes in and says, we understand what you're saying. Here's $4 billion. Yeah, you know what? We're okay with it now. You can show whatever you want to our fucking kids.
I don't know.
Netflix is about ready to open up out there. Of course, it's going to have a restricted slate of shows, but it doesn't matter what you start with. Just get in. And then you slip in one extra series.
I do know that, yes.
Yeah, China is sucking on the tit of money, and they're catching up quick. They're soon going to be the country that the U.S. kids chase in terms of, look even right now. Look at the fucking anime. Look at, it used to be that it was the American culture everybody emulated.
Yeah.
take a look around in a bookstore. There's like 18 pages of manga and anime and shit like that. Dylan, that's not all he watches, but he's aware of it. It's their culture. You watch movies like Pacific Rim. It's all based in Japan and stuff like that.
I watched my first, it's called Dark on Netflix.
That's German, though.
It was German, but
Adam liked it.
It was a subtitled. I didn't think it was that great. It was pretty good though. I watched it. I watched a series of it.
Yeah,
12 seasons or 12 episodes or whatever it was. And I'd watch the next season if they put it on there.
We're watching,
just because it's different.
We're watching season 2, Dirk Gently, right now. Holistic Detective, really good, weird shit. Gotta watch it. Shout out to Dirk Gently.
Dark wasn't great, but it was. I'd watch it again because it's different.
Yeah.
And I like the shit they're talking about, black holes.
Have you watched Ozarks?
I did. I have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should have got into money laundering a long time ago.
Yeah, you're the one talking about it. I've heard it. I heard about it on a podcast. But I haven't watched it yet. So I think you had mentioned it. Yeah, what's that about?
Money laundering. Tells you how to...
it's a guy who was like... The mob says...
Jason Bateman?
Yeah, and he has to launder a bunch of money for the mob to let us get free or something like that. Is that the basics of it? I haven't seen it at all.
Briefly tells you how to money launder, how to do it properly.
Well, get into money laundering. Step 1, I need to find people that need to launder money. Don't know those people. And laundering my own money, my money's already legitimate. So you can't really make clean money any cleaner.
He does tell you how to legitimize it. And
how does he do it?
Even now, when I look at what he did, even if they know, they can't stop it. And I'm sure it's been happening and is happening and has been happening forever. And Mexico is the prime example.
Yeah, we have a lot of anti-money... Because, at my work with H&R Block, I've taken a compliance course, and one of the big components of it is anti-money laundering, anti-fraud, because an easy way to get money back into the system is to file it so that you have to pay tax, and then just pay your tax in with, or go and buy deductions and stuff with money. So buy RSPs.
Like everybody knows, you throw the brand new bills in a bag of with change and throw it in the jar.
That's literally laundering money.
Yes, you make it used, right? You can't have brand crisp.
No, but
everybody knows that. That's only one step of many steps.
Well, yeah, but it's also the fact that you can only it's the electronic side of things. They track everything.
Yes.
Over a certain dollar amount. They track
over 10,000. So you have to do everything under 10,000.
Right, but then if you have a whole bunch of deposits consecutively, they're just under 10,000. They start tracking you too. They look for trends. They have chaos theory programmers that'll pick someone and say, this guy always deposits $9,600 every 3 weeks. So now we need to run an audit on him and find.
When I saw the show, it was there's a few things that I easily saw. A, under 10,000. B, expenses. You're always writing off things. Always writing things off. And writing it off is not questionable when it's legitimate business.
Oh yeah,
I replaced the carpet. I replaced the underlay. Water damage.
You pump bad money into a legitimate business. Why there's always these fronts, right? These bodegas. You can claim a loss, and on the books, I bought $300,000 worth of stock, but in actuality, you didn't buy shit, right?
I'll tell you this: if I didn't have a family and nobody to worry about, I'd totally be a money launderer because I can do it.
You can do it. You heard that here first, FBI.
Yeah, I know how to.
Shout out to the RCMP.
Yeah, I know how to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's
the thing: the money launderer. That's the weird thing.
I think you can do it with small amounts of money, but I think now the way they're tracking, especially in a first, if I had to get,
I call bullshit.
If I had $250,000 in cash,
yes.
Say you and I are driving down the road.
$250,000, that's nothing.
Well, whatever. Okay.
I need 10 mil.
Okay, so honestly, say we're $5 million in cash, 10 million. I don't care what dollars, and we just happen to be in the right place, right time, and either it's a plane crash or we're out in the country and someone had just done a big ATM run, or that's a lot of money, but I don't know. And we come across, Brink's truck. Everybody's already dead. We didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Bag's just sitting there.
We just took it.
Yada yada yada. We got possession of the money.
We know it's not good.
Yeah, we got money, and it's not good. Drug money. Definitely drug money, meth money. What I would do, based on my experience, is that to get it into your system in Canada is complicated. I would just relocate my wife, and my life to a semi-second world country, low first world country like Brazil, where you can live basically on cash, and in a society where you can, make some small deposits here or there, but reality, I have all the time in the world to get the money into the bank. So deposit, like $1,000 a week, and then, but just live on cash, where cash isn't tracked in a country like that, where it's just the market is all like 90% of the table, and it's just easy, a wink and a nod and a couple of dollar bills, and everything's taken care of, and you buy.
It's only Americas that have
North America, South America, Europe, where everything's
a real grasp on
tracked.
And yet, when you get into that level,
but you got to go.
You can buy your way in.
Yeah,
you can buy.
You want to go to an unbanked country.
You do, but I'm telling you right now, you can buy shit.
It's usually warmer there too.
You look at all these, the big, what was that movie? The Big Shot, the Big
Lebowski?
No, where they talk about the housing crash of the states. The Big Short.
The Big Short. Yeah.
And you look how integral it is to the government, and how tied in they are, and honestly, they cannot allow the market to fail. They did in the States, but in Canada here, we're already at 172%. We're at the same level that the States failed. Now, our banking system allows us to do a little bit higher, right?
Yeah, we're not writing subprime mortgages to cats, though.
We aren't, but we're doing some things, the same things that the States did. Repackaging, CBO, CDO.
But every time, Canada's pretty good. One thing Canada, I'll give them credit for, is they're not afraid to go and and spontaneously tighten the mortgage requirements, or make it so like 2 years ago they got hard to buy a house. They'll do that. They'll just flick a switch and say, okay, suddenly if you're 20 years old and making $30,000 a year, you know what? You can't buy a $500,000 a year house.
I don't even agree with that. I don't think that's great. Good idea.
Well,
now
that's what. But
guess what? Now your kids are reliant on you to buy them a fucking house.
No, they have to save up more than. They just can't buy it when they're 22. Guess what? You buy your house now when you're 40, not when you're 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Is it?
Yeah, because you know what? The flip side is you get kids that like that, and the interest rate goes up 1%, and suddenly they're all hiding in their keys, and everybody goes fucking bankrupt, and they're moving in when they're 40, and they're that far behind. That's what happened in the U.S. Everybody was 35, moved back in with their parents because their housing got taken away. You know what? I'd rather them save up for an extra 10 years and then buy their own fucking house. Don't live in my house. Go pay rent.
Oh, they're living in your house, man.
Oh my god.
They're living in your house forever, man.
That's common.
This is you know what's coming is the kids aren't gonna own a house. They're gonna take over your house.
Well, they're talking what's going on. So even Warren Buffett,
generational houses, which is what the rest of the world outside of North America.
Warren Buffett just invested, richest, or was, I don't know, he changes. I guess Bezos is technically richer now, though Warren Buffett has it in cash. So I don't know who technically is the richest guy in the U.S. But where he's investing huge, trailer park houses. But not the trailer park houses we grew up with.
It should be...
These are clean, modular homes.
Yes.
With,
modular.
And there's air quotes, you can't see this on a podcast.
3D printed.
But no, but high-end fixtures on the inside. In the U.S., where even in the internal of the U.S., so the average house in the U.S. currently sells for $275,000.
That's way cheaper than Canada.
Well, because Mike, you go to Portage, you can buy your house in the city for. I'm taking average.
I just read the average was a $495,000.
Yeah, but that's driven between four cities: Calgary, Montreal, and Toronto. If you take those four cities out, the average is probably like $250. If you take just the Maritimes, it's probably like $175. What I'm saying is that in the U.S., if it's $275, these modular homes that they're investing in, that are now there's incredible demand for, they're currently selling for $70,000. Trailer parks. And what they're doing is they're hiring property managers, they're putting in pools, they're cleaning it up, they're becoming mobile neighborhoods, and they're $70,000, and you live there. And maybe the time of everybody owning a house is
gone.
Gone.
Because if you look at the rest of the world, people don't own
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it was a very...
Or if they do, it's generational.
It was a very post-World War II... That owning a piece of suburbia was like even prestige. It was a very... capitalism was just getting started. Post-World War II. It was very unique. And... I think that's exactly the way it's going. And I think in the 80s, the people buying houses and flipping them and selling them for a profit has now driven the price in most neighborhoods out to people who can't. Yeah, I mean,
our kids can. I'm telling you right now, our kids cannot, and they won't ever. Now with interest rates increasing and the rules, they can't afford it. There's no way they'll ever be able to afford it.
Depends on your job.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Minimum wager.
No, never. No, and I agree. And if I was a minimum wager, I wouldn't want to try and own a house because you'd be fucking broke. You are cheaper to rent. But if you can't, at the end of the day, I mean, or you buy something incredibly small. In Winnipeg, it doesn't make any sense with the fucking heating bills, but these micro homes or whatever. But I don't know. People will find a place to live, so something will develop because. Wherever people's income falls, that's where people will build something to make that money. If you only have $70,000, I want your $70,000. That's what Warren Buffett is doing. He's come up with a plan to get people's money at whatever income level they can afford.
It's gone full circle, man, as far as I'm concerned.
We're going to have teepees?
Now it's not individuals that own houses, it's communities. Or families, or generations of families,
but we're all going back to the colony.
Yes, it's going back to the colony. It's not an individual anymore. It's a family, a community. That's the way it's going because that's the only way you can afford.
Yeah, and quite honestly, no idea what Rylan will own.
I like that. I like that view. The problem is, what do you do with personal space? How do you get your time alone? How do you... Because
I don't want my kids living in my house till...
No, I don't either. How do you get your time alone? I
don't know. But then again, I mean... I'm sure Wendy would love it if the kids...
Lots of people don't. I know Kara would too. But lots of people don't get personal time. But to me, personal time is what keeps the level.
That's all fine until your kids meet someone and they start having kids. That's where it all blows up, right? You can't... We don't own a fucking compound.
And that's exactly what you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, it's all fine and cute to have your kid never growing up.
But your kid with your girlfriend and your kid and Jesus.
Then it gets a little fucking hairy. I don't know.
I got a shed out back. That's where I go.
That's where I'll be, yeah.
And a hot tub in the... that's where... Those are my spots.
Rewire my garage so it has its own power and I'll put heat out there and...
But I hate to say it, we think of that as it's funny and this is that, but I think that's the way it's headed.
I don't know.
I think that's the way capitalism is headed because capitalism, just like Marxism and all those other socialism,
I don't believe in any ism.
Capitalism has hit its peak. Greed is at a maximum
capacity. I want it now on credit.
It is, and CEOs make mistakes. They don't get it. It doesn't matter. There's no accountability. There's no repercussion.
I don't know. Companies go under pretty quick.
Companies may, but the CEO gets another job somewhere else with a glowing recommendation. Nowadays, and this is exactly every system reaches. No system's perfect. I'll tell you that right now.
Cannot hold.
Exactly.
It's like chaos theory.
But the capitalism is now, and it's fast approaching the end of its life.
I don't know. I've heard that before too, and it's phrased a different way. But I don't know what the next step is. I don't see how we get from capitalism to the USS Enterprise.
We don't.
Federation.
We don't, because, and if you look at I'm going to refer back to that movie, what was it, The Big Short?
The Big Short.
We can't, because it's not allowed. The system's not allowed to fail. We have fail-safes in, and every time it fails, there's more fail-safes built in to allow it not to fail.
But eventually it all comes crumbling down then.
It does.
So what's next?
You can delay it forever. You can delay it.
It's like Rick and Morty when they talk about the purge.
Rick and Morty. The pickle.
Pickle rack. Oh my god. Yeah. Last thing was the kids bought me this Rick and Morty set for Christmas.
I love Rick and Morty.
It was not Seth MacFarlane, the MacFarlane guy, the guy who wrote Spawn, and he makes those caricatures or whatever.
I did not like Spawn. I thought it was brutal.
Anyways, he made a Rick and Morty playset that was Lego-esque. So I put the goddamn thing together, and I use that term loosely. I confirmed it was missing 2 pieces. I have to write Seth MacFarlane.
Oh.
B.
Are you sure it's Seth MacFarlane? Because that's guy Family Guy.
Yeah, no. What was the guy named MacFarlane that wrote Spawn or whatever, and he was like real trendy for a couple of years? I don't know. It was MacFarlane for sure. I don't know what his.
I wonder how his Star
Google
Trek...
MacFarlane and Spawn.
I wonder how his Star Trek series went, because I did not watch that.
That new one? It's blowing up.
Really?
Yeah, it's really catching on.
Fucking bullshit.
I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I just haven't run time, but it's blowing up.
I've watched the new Star Trek, but I have not watched his mock funny.
Oh, that one!
Yeah.
The Orville.
The Orville, yeah.
Dylan and I watched that. It's funny, but it's not funny all the time because it's not a parody. He takes itself
like Star Trek.
He takes itself seriously. It's not making fun of Star Trek. I thought it was comedy to make fun of it.
Yeah.
No, it takes itself seriously. He thinks he's writing like just an alternate universe or something. I don't understand. It's like, so some parts of it, like a whole episode, is like 95% dramatic, and you're like, oh my god, this was serious. Like, he's just thinking he's writing his own little thing. You're right, it's not Seth MacFarlane. Ron MacFarlane. Okay, fuck, you're not Googling, I'm going to tell you.
I'm not Googling.
MacFarlane and Spawn.
I'm busy drinking my beer here.
MacFarlane, I'm going to say Spawn. MacFarlane.
A show I recently started watching. I like cartoons, man.
Yeah, I mean, Todd MacFarlane.
Who?
Todd MacFarlane was the creator of Spawn.
I don't know who that guy is.
Images. He's like, he got famous for the Spawn cartoon, and he makes collectibles. So it's MacFarlane Collectibles, and he makes, anything that's like pop culture-y. He'll make like the $500 incredibly detailed like Batman figurine. So you get like, like a little statue for your desk that is like Batman or Superman or Spawn or...
as nerdy as I've ever been, I've never been attracted to that.
No, like that's just... It's $500 for official plastic. It's still just plastic. I don't get it. But anyways, that's Todd MacFarlane. Todd, you're not invited on the podcast. Fuck you.
You're out.
Yeah.
But back to the cartoons.
Yes.
Have you ever seen Bob's Burgers?
Yes.
Fuck, is that hilarious. And I love that chick with the bunny ears.
I've only seen one episode. When the food inspector came or whatever. Shut them down.
Yeah, no, I love the chick with the bunny ears. I think that is me. Just
androgynous, just slow,
just all dark, and she's just dark, right? Like just that's me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a I don't know.
It's twisted.
Yeah.
The dad is a fast food chef, and the mom is oblivious, and the one son the glass is always full.
How about F is for Family? Have you seen that?
I watched one episode. I didn't really make it through.
We should watch them right now. Like after we're done wrapped up here. I really like that show.
I also watched Letterkenny, which I thought I would really like. I watched about 10 episodes and I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like,
watch 10 episodes.
I don't give up, man. I gotta. You know what? It's so
F is for Family is Bill Burr. It's really funny. He wrote it. It's all about. It reminds me a lot of growing up. It reminds me of our generation growing up. The parenting style.
Well, it's supposed to be Letterkenny.
The parents drinking beer.
Yeah.
But this is about when the kids are small, like our age. So our age in the 1980, 81, 6, 7 years old, where dads are swearing and drinking beer and losing their jobs, and moms are selling Tupperware and
Canada parties,
bullshit like that, and
Avon.
He was eating TV dinners, and just a kid wants to be in a rock star band, and the other kid's fucking a chronic masturbator or whatever. I might just throw that part in there. I'm not sure, but
I thought Letterkenny was supposed to be that way, right?
That's about just hockey guys.
No, it's no. It's not hockey guys. It's about just trailer park kind of. And I like Trailer
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Yeah, pitter patter.
That's all I know from that show. Reminds me of Paul.
But you know what? Really, it's funny because the wife here, we start watching something new, and 15 minutes in, she's like, this show's a fucking waste of time. I'm out. Here I am watching 10 episodes. I'm not quite sure if I really like this or not. I'll watch maybe a second season, see how it's going. And what was that? Arrow. I watched Arrow.
Oh, Dylan is tied up. He's watching the whole DC universe on. Yesterday, I came downstairs, and I guess there's some. They're doing a crossover series. So the first episode of Crisis on Infinite Earths was on Arrow, and the second one is on The Flash, and the third episode is on the Supergirl series. He's flipping between them, just watching this one episode, this one arc of a story, and he's just addicted to it. And he watches all that Gotham. He's bought in. He's all in on all these DC superhero TV shows. It's really funny because DC makes better TV shows than Marvel, but DC movies are just fucking shit in the bed.
Well, I've watched 16 episodes out of 24 on the first season of Arrow.
Dylan's on season 6.
It's all right.
There's Firestorm later on.
I'm going to watch the full first season, right? I don't think... Right now, if I was to make a decision, I'm not watching it anymore. But yeah, Care...
Dylan says it gets good on season 3.
Yes, he cares like 20 minutes. I'm out. I'm like fucking hours and hours later. I'm like...
there was 5 minutes there that had my... it made it move.
Oh, shit.
Do you watch Dirk Gently?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, it's season 2 right now. You'd like it. It's 10 episodes. You can knock it off in fucking probably a day. Dirk Gently, the Holistic Detective. It is so fucked. It is right up your aisle. I swear. There's not too many shows that I was sure you would like. Like F for Family, I wasn't sure if you'd like it or not. But Dirk Gently, it's like... It's got a X-File. It's got a sniff of the
Have
good...
you watched the new X-Files?
Well, the season 1, not season 2.
Like the new... There's 6 episodes or something like that in the new...
I think they just dropped, right?
I think 3 of... I haven't heard anything good about it.
I don't think
Not
they're out
that
yet.
I trust...
I just saw the trailers on TV. I don't think they're out yet. I think they're still coming.
No, they started January 3rd.
Okay, so it's been 2 weeks.
I'll record them. I'll watch them. I don't have a high hope at all.
On the Magic Box.
But I'll watch it because I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah, how many times I got left? But yeah, no, Dirk Gently, the Holistic Detective, has like whiffs of those standalone, weird, quirky X-File episodes that weren't part of the conspiracy. Like it's got that just twisted, like nonsensical type stuff. I think you'd like it.
Here's a show that I never thought I would like. Brooklyn 99.
Oh, the guys from like Lonely Island or whatever.
I honestly thought I would hate that show, and all of a sudden I'm like, I fucking love this show.
It's funny as shit.
These guys are fucking retarded.
I like that black guy. So
the captain.
Yeah.
You think he's all formal and stuff, and he is, but he just...
He's like, I'm the most openly gay guy there is here. What the fuck, man?
I'm like... I think I work at a place like this, man.
I feel like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is like where I work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we're done here. This was good. I had to get some things off my chest. Wanted to talk about some topics that got my brain spinning. I think we hit them on all. Thanks for indulging me.
Well, what about... we didn't even talk about the gay guys that got, like, attacked and killed in Toronto.
Save that for next time. Fuck them. Probably deserved it.
The hookers and you know.
That wouldn't be too depressing. We lived on... We ended on a high.
This was a depressing episode, man.
No,
we talked about the fall of capitalism.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
The crushing of the world.
I said we ended on a high note. This is good.
Yes. Let's end before we get even more...
Before it goes south. Plus, I gotta get up goddamn early tomorrow. Okay, well, this was a good one. It was better than planned. Thanks again. Always a pleasure. This was episode probably 21, launching soon. Check out our video on the Musing While Boozing Facebook page. We were playing around with the 360 camera, but I noticed that the battery died somewhere in there. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. But tell us what you think. Continue to send the awesome comments on Twitter. Share with your friends. If you are in the Winnipeg area and you'd like to be on the show, don't be a stranger. We're lining up our next round of guests. If you were supposed to be on the show and you got the shits, well, then hopefully they're better.
Hopefully you got past that.
Yeah, we'll reach out to the people that we've had to reschedule and get them back on the show. And other than that, we committed to 52 episodes. We're almost halfway there. I say that loosely. This is episode 21-ish. So, yeah.
We're almost there.
Almost there. Okay. Cheers, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hang in there and stay hard.
Yeah.
This has been an MK Cast production.